Well, good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods here. Wake up, leave me now. It is Tuesday afternoon, and it's been a rough couple of days here. In fact, it's been kind of a rough season. It's been ups and downs and everything else, but still, it's the season that we got. And we have all been upset by, losing this past week to the defending world champions, maybe one of the greatest teams or well-coached teams in the history of football. On a night where the weather was bad, and we were close. We were close. Our owner feels let down by the coaching staff, and we have gone over it in nauseam. We've talked about whether or not Jason Garrett will be back or not. We've talked about the team and the expectations that are always there for the Dallas Cowboys and things that aren't met. Now, looking at this, winning cures a lot, and that's the reality. You get a win, a lot of stuff gets swept under the rug. Problems get swept under the rug. But when you have problems, usually that will bring other problems to the surface. A lot of times if you've been married for a while, guys or ladies, you understand this. When you get into a disagreement, with your significant other, sometimes it's not so much the thing that set it off as it is underlying things. You may be talking about, you left your clothes on the floor, but it may end up being the fact that you didn't take out the trash or something else like that. But all of those things, because that problem came up, all those other ones come up to the surface. Okay, and guys, pick your clothes up off the floor and make sure you take out the trash, and you don't have that problem. We haven't heard those problems, at least in this locker room. That at least is the good thing that we hear. And this is where, as much as I give Jason Garrett a lot of grief and a lot of trash and things, last year when we were 3-5, this team did not crater. In fact, instead of cratering like we saw, Swearinger with the Redskins and one of their linebackers that basically they had to ship out of town, because they were literally just throwing everybody on the bus. You never, ever hear that from this team, and that, my friends, is actually pretty huge. You look at, for example, the Eagles right now. The problems in the locker room now between Carson Wentz and the Nick Foleians that, are still there that wanted Nick Foles over Carson Wentz. You hear things about him being a diva and things like that. And you've got players that may have, burner accounts that are trashing the team online. You don't have that here with the Cowboys. That's at least a positive. And the reality is we lost to one of the best teams of football at their house, and we kept it close. Now we got 5 games left. We've got the Buffalo Bills. You go out and you handle business on that one, and it changes everything. And here's what I actually like hearing is from the players' perspective. We've heard from Jerry Jones who said, I'm not firing somebody right now, at least not over the holidays, but you can best believe that if somehow we end up getting shown up by, say, Cole Beasley on Thanksgiving and get blown out, I think it's a possibility that somebody will be going out the door. But we'll see. Hopefully we don't have to deal with that on Friday. But Jason Witten, Father Time, said when asked about the criticism of the coaching staff, Jason Witten believes the owner's frustration is with the entire team. He feels like he put a great team together, which it has, and should be playing better to our expectations. And that's a fair statement. So Jason Witten is not pointing at the coach. He's saying collectively all of us have to do better. But wait, there's more. If you act now, has Garrett finally run out of excuses? Well, I have to agree with Michael Irvin here. Michael Irvin says, I just want to see somebody get mad. And that was my thing. I think we talked last night on the live stream on there. I think players emulate their coaches. And Jason Garrett is not that get angry guy. Whether they win or lose, he is the same way at press conferences. And I think a lot of his players, because he've tried to get players that he likes in his system and things, you don't have those real fiery characters. And sometimes you need a guy who gets up in your face. You need a guy like a Charles Haley that's going to let you know that, you know what, you don't need to be scared of them. You need to be scared of me. You get your butt out there, you perform, you take care of your job because you're taken away from me when we lose. You need a guy like the playmaker who's going to lead by example and get in people's faces out there. That's going to get people fired up. Because sometimes the difference between a winning and losing player is just how much you want it that much more. That little bit can be all the difference. So I agree with Michael Irvin. I want to see somebody get mad. So go down a little further here on some more of the tweets. Jason Witten, of course, was asked again about the comments. In the NFL, you can't have it both ways. That's the way it's going to be. I think everyone understands the clear expectations we've had for this team. It's not an issue. He ain't mad about Jerry Jones getting mad. At least somebody's happy about him getting mad. Zeke Elliott, on if the frustration has not been beating teams with a winning record, there's frustration with not winning. You're going to be frustrated. But we are grateful we control our own destiny and we can control the last games and get into the playoffs. Zach Martin on playing for Jason Garrett. I think it's just his belief in us. He knows how good we are and how good we can be, and it's up to us to execute. Say what you want. At the end of the day, we are the guys playing, and we've got to make plays. We've got to finish games better. And there was one more that I wanted to get. Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis, if Jason Garrett needs to defend himself, we just go out there and win. At the end of the day, it's not about defending yourself. You defend yourself by winning, and that's what we have to do, defend ourselves. That's it in a nutshell. You got to go out there and you got to perform. All this other stuff goes away if you win. When you lose, it comes up to the surface. Everybody starts talking about it, and it just becomes a problem. If there's anything that's good for us is, you remember when it used to be, they talked about, Dak Prescott was like the redheaded stepchild, He was like Cinderella. You got the stepsisters that were the ones that figured they were going to get the prince. And that's Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. You remember how it was always those two quarterbacks. And it's like, oh, there's Dak Prescott, the fourth-round quarterback. If there's any good news, it seems like both of those quarterbacks have completely regressed. And both of those teams are in disarray, even more so than the Dallas Cowboys. I know you don't hear about it as much, but now you're seeing articles out there about what happened to Carson Wentz. What's wrong with Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz not looking like a franchise quarterback. And when you start looking at Jared Goff, and I'll talk later about them because I'll make sure I have the statistics in front of me, but Jared Goff has had 16 fumbles in the last 16 games. Dude is turning it over like he's doing some tricks. They're both just bad. Now, granted, they played Baltimore last night, and Baltimore's been making everybody look bad. But still, 6 points. And granted, you were playing Seattle Eagles. I get that. And you can kind of say that Carson Wentz doesn't have talent around him, but I think he's fumbled the ball like 5 times in the last 2 games. So he's part of the problem as well. So as bad as it may be for our Cowboys, at least ain't nobody got burner accounts. And at least the team seems to be circling the wagons in support of their coach and trying to get a win. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, we just need to get a win. Hope you guys are having a great day. Be safe on the road, and I'll see you soon.